Hello, and welcome to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the injury market's top program for doctors, lawyers, and insurers who want to gain greater insight on how to improve patient recovery results and deliver better services in the U.S. injury market. Please welcome your host, Dr. Jeffrey Allen Kronk.
Hello, doctors. What I want to talk about today is follow-up. You know, a lot of doctors in the injury market, they want attorneys to refer to them. They want doctors to refer to them, but they're not sure how to go about it. You know, they're sure how to maybe do one contact or have one meeting or take an attorney out to a lunch or maybe do a lunch procedure. When I say a procedure, a lunch where you're inviting a number of attorneys out to lunch or doing a presentation at lunch for attorneys. You know how to do that. Some doctors know how to do that. Some doctors don't even know how to do that. But the biggest thing that they don't understand is follow-up. So first of all, what is follow-up? Follow-up is anything you do after an event to complete that event. So if I initiate and say, hey, Rob Smith's an attorney, I want Rob Smith to start referring patients to me. Good. I initiate event. I initiate a contact with Rob Smith. I come in contact with him. And now my follow-up is everything that I do to complete that goal of getting them to refer to me. So it's everything that I do. So my follow-up is if I called and I set up a lunch with Rob and it's for next week, Thursday, and now the day before Thursday, somebody in my office calls and actually confirms the appointment, that's follow-up. If somebody I set up an appointment and afterwards I do an email, that's follow-up. If afterwards I give them some materials that I want them to read, that's follow-up. If once I have the meeting, everything that I do after the meeting is follow-up. So one of the things when you're looking to, gain, I guess the best analogy I can use is when you met your significant other, right? You did follow-up. You did lots of follow-up. You found out what they liked. You got interested in them. You found out about them. And then you followed up and you discovered what they needed and wanted, what would make them happy, and you produced it and you presented it to them. That's follow-up, right? You do it continuously. And so one of the biggest things that I see in the market today for doctors is that they don't have some sort of a follow-up system. I mean, in a follow-up system, let's just take an attorney referral. In a follow-up system, good. All right, so I've got the system in place to gain the referral of the attorney. Now, I start off, I call, I do a Zoom call, I show them what makes me unique in the market. I have a Smart Injury Doctors training program where we show doctors how to easily make yourself unique in the program, in the community. Bringing something unique and separate and different from every other provider, right? So I have a meeting. I share that with them. Good. Now what am I going to do? What am I going to follow them up with? Because remember, just because they heard a great message from you of what makes you unique doesn't mean they're going to start with you. They might need to hear one message, two messages, three messages more. They might need to hear 52 more messages before they start to go, oh, I want to do business with this person. Now, the cool thing about follow-up is that almost no one does it. Now, the reason why I say why does that make that cool? Well, because obviously, do you know why no one does it? Because it's so damn hard to do. It's so damn hard to do. That's why people don't do it. But if you can do it and you break through, then the barrier to entry for everyone else is super high. Because nobody else is going to do it. And it's the truth of the matter is it's not all that hard. It's not that hard. As a matter of fact, in my Smart Injury Doctors training program package that we sell today, we have a professional follow-up course. You can also go buy the professional follow-up course unto itself, all by itself. And it goes through how to do professional follow-up. It goes through, here's 52 emails, follow-up emails of incredible information that the attorney will like and will want to know about that continuously reiterates your message of exactly what makes you unique in the market. That is what you need to do for follow-up, right? Now, once you get an attorney to send to you, that's a different follow-up procedure, right? Okay, good. What are you going to do when you need to reward them when they send you a case? When their behavior is what you want it to do, then you need to reward them, right? When you resolve their first claim, they settle out your first business together. That's an event. You need to follow up. You need to do something special on that event. Now, as they're sending to you, follow up is maintaining the relationship. So you just didn't get married and then disconnect and then stop doing all the things that you did to get married. What it took to get married, it takes to actually maintain the marriage. What it did to get the relationship is what it takes to maintain the relationship. So you have to understand that there are also maintenance things that you can do. Hey, the attorney's wife really loves Sade. I don't know, I'm dating myself, right? You see that Sade's playing in a local arena. Get him some tickets. Get him some tickets. This is just called marketing. It's just your marketing expense, right? But there are things that you need to do. That's why we have a professional follow-up course. And in the professional follow-up course, I think just about anybody that takes the course is kind of like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. Now, the main thing is we have 52 weeks worth of information all programmed and ready to go. So basically, you don't have to spend all the time. That's the part that's the part that you won't do. Now, the second part you might not do is you won't put it into a CRM so that every time you add an attorney into your list, you meet an attorney, you just put it into a CRM and it automatically sends these messages. We even have a service to do that for you, right? But you want to follow up. Follow up is where the gold is. Okay, think of your mining, right? And now you did a little bit of plate panning and you found a little tiny bit of gold. Follow up is what gets you the big crane. Follow-up is what gets you rich. It's in the follow-up. So you got to follow up. And it is probably the most important marketing activity. Because remember, in your communities, you only have so many attorneys. I don't care how big you are. If you're in New York, yeah, you may never run out. But if you're in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, or if you're in Sioux Falls, Iowa, or you're in some of these mid-sized areas, you don't have, it's just 60 attorneys, you have, whatever. You have 60 medical doctors that you might want to work with, and some of you have an unlimited amount, but it doesn't matter because you still want to follow up. It's a you're looking for long-term, good relationships. That's what you're looking for. And so that's follow-up is where you get it. And so you have to do follow-up. Again, doctors, if you're interested in our follow-up program, go to the Smart Injury Doctors, smartinjurydoctors.com, and you'll see it is listed as a program. Call somebody there and talk to us and let us know what your needs are, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have on it. Doctors, follow-up's important. I just wanted to riff on that a little bit today. Put your comments down below. Put whatever you're struggling with. If you're struggling with follow-up or you don't, whatever, put that information down below in a comment, because I do look at those. And it helps me. It helps me to decide what we're going to produce in the future. If you just heard this podcast, subscribe to the podcast. Get them. We try to do 2 a week. Sometimes I'm not as good at doing 2 a week, but subscribe to them so then when they come up, you're onto them right away. Doctors, I appreciate your attention, or anybody that's listening today, I appreciate your attention. I look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the #1 audio production show for professionals in the U.S. injury market that want to deliver better injury services to the patients, clients, or insureds they serve. If you like what you heard today, please leave us a review and don't forget to join us on our next program.